There we go. Recording. Oh, we're back.
Hello, everyone.
We're back by popular demand.
uh,
All the liberals on the last video saying we deserve to die for making the video. We
I
had to make
should.
another one.
I need to not laugh too loud at that. Uh,
We're
I,
laughing,
hey,
everyone,
brother,
by the
your
way,
head's
because
kind of. Let me see. Is your head cut off a little bit?
oh,
All
there.
right. No, it's
Um,
not. All right. I got you. All right.
I had to laugh. We're laughing, everyone, because we have to laugh at it because we're not going to let these people rob us of our joy. We're not going to let them ruin our lives. We're not going to let them intimidate us. I mean, we're just two dudes talking and having fun, you know?
So, can we introduce ourselves and start with a prayer?
Yeah.
All right. So, I'm Ted Bassage, chaplain, U.S. Army retired. American patriot out of New Orleans, beer drinker, football fan, an American guy. And I was chopping wood just a little while ago.
Yeah.
Chopping wood. And as I was chopping wood, I was thinking Ronald Reagan used to chop wood. And every time I chopped the wood, I thought, communists, communists, communist, communist, Reagan, Reagan, Reagan.
Someone will clip
God
that one
bless
out. That
America.
that's a
What?
good that's a good clip right there. Just
All right. So Shamgar,
yeah, I'm Shamgar Connors. You guys have known me for a while. I got internet fame from getting kicked off the kidney transplant list because I refused the COVID vaccine, and then they found out I was a Christian, and that made it even worse. So liberals were stalking and harassing me. They still do, which is why they found my profile in the podcast I'm posting on Facebook and on the last one, and they were commenting that we deserve to die, and um, yeah, that we were evil protectors of evil people, and every insult you can throw without any kind of proof whatsoever, which is what liberals are great at. But it doesn't matter. I don't let these people bother me at all. I just laugh at them. I feel pity for them because they're so brainwashed and gone that they can't even form a rational, coherent thought on their own. It's literally they're just consumed with evil and hatred, and that's why their only option that they believe is any worth of viability is just I have to kill whoever even remotely disagrees with me a little bit. And they're just they act like savage animals that were raised in the wild. So
they literally, in many cases, are incapable of understanding basic logic.
right.
It's that bad. So, with that in mind, if I could start us with a prayer.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, let's pray. Gracious Heavenly Father, I pray for anybody and everybody who will watch this, including and especially those whose minds and hearts are dark. And I pray that somehow, some way, that you would reach them. I pray that you'd make our tongues like the pen of a ready writer. And I pray that you'd remind people in their hearts and minds, those who know you and those who don't, that you're real, that Jesus Christ died on the cross for their sins, that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever would believe on him would not perish, but would have everlasting life. And that the verdict is that light came into the world, but men loved darkness rather than light because their deeds were evil. And Lord, I pray that you yourself would enlighten hearts and minds, and that you would make us, even in our sarcastic ways, somehow, some way, able to spread your light and your truth. And Lord, I pray that we would win this battle, this war for the very soul of our land. In Jesus' name, amen.
Man.
Amen.
Yep.
Well, brother, as we discussed, if it's okay, in the spirit of Rush Limbaugh,
Yeah.
let's say it nice and slow. Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah,
Rush.
we want to do an unscripted, just talk
We
about current events and stuff.
you remember Rush Limbaugh Open
Yeah.
Line Friday?
Right.
All right, so in the spirit of Rush I'm hoping that'll trigger some lefties.
It will.
Rush Limbaugh.
Remember when he passed away, all the leftists were cheering and
Oh
dancing in
yeah.
his grave too.
Oh yeah. I'd like to remind the lefties that he was given the Presidential Medal of Freedom
Hmm.
and made $500 million. So he was or some outrageous sum of money. He was
Yeah,
half a
he was doing
billionaire.
pretty good.
Yeah, he did all right. He
Hmm.
did all right. He did a whole lot better than you lefties do.
Right.
Unless you steal money, which of course many of you do. Most
He
of
did.
you.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, he didn't do as good as all the Somalian daycares. I guess he should have just done that. You know, he could have just he could have just opened a daycare in
Yeah,
Minnesota.
crime does pay if you're a leftist.
He
It
could have
pays
opened
well.
a Leering Center.
If you're Nancy Pelosi or Tim Waltz, you get paid
Yeah,
well.
yeah. He could have had insider stock trading for the past 20 years, 30 years, like
made,
Nancy
made millions and
Pelosi.
millions. Yeah, if you're
Yeah,
Nancy Pelosi's husband and you get in a hammer fight with a gay guy, you're doing all right.
yeah.
All right. This,
That's the
this,
legacy. That's what we'll remember Nancy Pelosi and her husband for. She's a thief, and he got in a fight with a gay dude with a hammer. Wow, what a legacy!
oh,
Wow.
and she orchestrated a fake
Oh
insurrection.
yeah, and that she denied the National Guard for coming after Trump tried to get him there.
Oh my God, what a mess. What an
And
absolute mess. So, if I can be serious
yeah, yeah, yeah.
for just a little
Sorry,
bit, look,
don't.
Shamgar superpower is sarcasm,
I can't
and
help it.
I no, I dig it, man.
This is how my brain works with thinking about how stupid this stuff is and how hypocritical it is. It drives me nuts.
It's out there. All right, so if I can be serious, if I can
Yeah,
attempt to play the straight guy, so I want to table one thing that might dovetail into other things, but it's about Charlie Kirk.
right,
And I want to read you something that again my wife wrote.
right.
And I want to keep my wife's first name nameless on purpose. So her name will eventually come up. You'll figure out who she is.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a following of her own, but I'm going to read you something that she wrote, and it's right after the death, 2 days after the death of Charlie Kirk, after
Mm-hmm.
his brutal murder. So let me go ahead, if I may. All I can do for the past 2 mornings when I sit with the Lord to pray is cry gut-wrenching sobs. And it's all about the murder of Charlie Kirk. But today I cried tears that would not be denied, and then I sat in perfect silence and stillness for a while. Out of the quiet, a thought began to form in my mind, which I recognized as coming from the Holy Spirit. What I suddenly began to understand is that the grieving in me is not just about Charlie. It's about what his death has brought into sharp focus, namely, the degradation of civil society is further advanced than any of us have recognized. While it's true that his death is simultaneously shining a light on pockets of gold, the tragedy will be multiplied if we, as the body of Christ, turn a blind eye to the unabashed rejoicing taking place in more than just the fringe of our society. We must lift a collective outcry of objection to the level of depravity in our society that would not just refuse to be grieved over the murder of a God-fearing patriot, but openly rejoice instead. Our brother Charlie's death is bringing this issue to a head, and we who name the name of Jesus must not squander this moment of clarity being afforded to us. Jesus said that we are the light of the world. The Apostle Paul explained in Ephesians 5 the purpose and the function of this light in the world around us. In verse 11 of Ephesians 5, he says that we should reprove works of darkness. Below following is the definition of the Greek word that was translated to reprove. And the translation goes like this: to convict, to refute, to confute, generally with a suggestion of shame of the person convicted. By conviction, to bring to light, to expose, to find fault with, to correct by word, to reprehend severely, to chide, to admonish, to reprove, to call to account, to show one his fault, to demand an explanation by deed, to chasten, to punish. Verse 13, Paul further explains that a function of light is to make manifest. More specifically, he says that things which are reproved are made manifest by the light. So, putting these two things together, we see that light's purpose, as it concerns the works of darkness in the world, is to render apparent the works of darkness in our society by openly and unashamedly reproving them. Our society cannot afford for us to be cowardly in our assignment to be the light of the world, trying to coexist peacefully with depravity on proud display in our society will further facilitate the utter degradation of civility. And one thing that should be obvious by now is that civility is hanging by a thread. If civility in society is neglected until it's dead, open barbarism is what we have to dread. May it never be said of us as a beloved republic, founded on Christian principles, that we gave way to the annihilation of freedom and the normalizing of barbaric atrocities, because those with the responsibility to provide a reproving light refused outright to embrace their high call. May it cease to be true of us, the body of Christ, that we are may it cease to be true of us that as the body of Christ we are grasshoppers in our own eyes, facing fearsome giants in the land handed over to our sacred trust. Let it be known of this generation that we are bold, stout-hearted, unafraid, devoted to prosperity and to the prosperity of civility, decency, and the sanctity of human life in our society. And now I leave you with these words of admonishment from the Apostle Paul, Ephesians 5:14 through 17. Wherefore he says, awake, thou sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ shall give you light. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore be not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. The end.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's the problem is that, yeah, what happens if this gets worse? What happens if there's no civility left in society? And what happens if conservatives come up with the same mindset as these liberal lunatics that are saying they just have to kill everyone that they disagree with? What if everybody else says they have to kill them? Now all you have is everybody killing everyone.
Think about this would be a great segue into. Think about the death of Charlie Kirk. Think about what happened in the wake of his death. The people who are absolutely diabolically rejoicing. This is
Right.
no longer fringe, it's mainstream. This is the left. This is what the left has become.
Right. And it's a
And
majority of them. It's not just a few of them. It's a large
it is, I
majority
don't
of
know
them.
how many it is, I don't know. But
It's enough to notice.
there's no doubt that there's an increasing number, and
Right.
their hearts are dark, their hearts are black. So
Right.
it's a great segue. We have not just one, but two nurses, one of whom's a high-ranking nurse,
Right.
who took to the airwaves, who took to social media in the last week and viscerally cursed Carolyn Levitt. I have one of them right here, and this is the first
Right.
one. She's a high-ranking nurse. She's like some nurse supervisor. And if I may, let
Yeah,
me just
hold it up to the screen and
what
then
I'm going to do. It's what I'm going to do. Here we go.
She is pregnant. I wish for Caroline, but she is pregnant with a baby girl. And I truly do hope that baby is so healthy. I hope she's healthy and headstrong. So headstrong, in fact, that as she is emerging into this world through Caroline's geriatric technology, that she tears her from bow to fucking stern. Grade 4 tear. It's so big that when she gets out of the shower naked and walks across the room, like she accidentally picks up dog toys. Yeah, it's my wish for you, Caroline. My wish for Caroline.
So that's one.
that's just one.
That's one of two. I have the other one. I have the other one as
And
well.
these are employed people that work in
Yes,
healthcare.
these are people who
I mean,
yes
this is real life people that
yes these are
that is
actual people.
sworn an oath to keep people healthy. Okay.
Yeah, I have the next
Okay.
one pulled up, man.
Yeah, pull it up.
All
Yeah,
right, so
let's
this
go.
This one is a labor and delivery nurse.
Oh, that's even better.
I think, yeah, yeah, I think they actually fired her, but here comes the next one. All right, here we go. Hold on.
As a labor and delivery nurse, it gives me great joy to wish Caroline Levitt a fourth degree tear. I hope that you fucking rip from bow to stern and never shit normally again, you cunt. As a labor and delivery nurse,
Wow.
it gives me great joy to wish Caroline Levitt a fourth degree tear. I hope that you fucking rip from bow to stern and never shit normally again, you cunt.
Yep. What a
As a labor and
wow.
I mean, the point is, in made by my wife's prophetic utterance there, is that these people are depraved.
Depraved.
We have
Reprobate minds. Completely reprobate.
they are
Absolutely.
totally reprobate. Carolyn Levitt is a human being. This is somebody who they disagree with politically. Carolyn
Right.
Levitt is a patriot,
Very
working
much.
for a guy who's tried real hard to do what's right by America. Not a
Who
perfect
almost been
man.
assassinated so many times
Twice,
that they haven't
at least
even.
twice that we know of.
Yeah, there's so many more. They
Yes,
haven't
yeah, at
even
least
said
twice that we know of. Yeah,
they haven't said it all. It's probably in the hundreds of times by
it's at
now,
least I would bet it's at least in the dozens of times.
at
Yes,
least. I mean, and that's the thing. These people work in healthcare. They deliver babies, and they have no.
yes, these are the
They don't
people
care about
who.
life. It doesn't. Life
Yes,
doesn't matter to them.
yes, these are the people who wanted to put you in a concentration camp if you didn't
Right.
take an injection of an unknown
They
substance.
openly said we should be put in camps, re-education camps. They really wanted that, and they still do. Their hearts didn't change, and they're not gonna because they don't want to repent. They're filled with their own pride.
Quarantine camps. You're going to be
Yeah,
quarantined as
they
long as.
did like they
So,
did. They did
so what
quarantine
happens if you
camps
don't take their poison?
in Australia. Remember, they had quarantine camps for a while.
Quarantine camps.
Right.
Yes,
They
yes, they
really
did.
did, everyone. This isn't
Yes,
like
they did.
a
I know some people in
conspiracy
Australia.
theory. This is
Oh
for
yeah.
realsies,
Oh
okay?
yeah. It's worse in Australia. I mean, we're
Right.
and it's horrible in England. I mean, we are, as John F. Kennedy warned us, we're opposed around the world by a ruthless and monolithic conspiracy.
Yeah, he's right.
That relies not on armies by day, but by guerrillas by night, on
Mhm.
infiltration rather than free elections, et cetera, et cetera. It
Yep.
is he's talking of the
Right.
deep state which killed him.
Right. Right. And these people, it's just, my wife worked in the healthcare thing. It's just, and then they fired her because she didn't get the vaccine after she worked on the COVID floor for an
The
entire
so-called
year.
vaccine, the
Right. The
so-called vaccine,
so-called vaccine.
the
Sorry.
mRNA, the experimental mRNA injection. Have you ever looked at this? Hey, hey,
Oh
hey,
yeah.
commie liberals. Have you ever looked at that stuff in a lab under a microscope? Do you even know what you've put inside your bodies? Do you
No.
know? No,
Oh,
you
they,
don't.
well,
You
actually, they
you
say they put,
trust the
yeah, they
science.
say they put science inside their body. Oh, give me another Fauci ouchie. Yeah. Well,
You don't even
sorry.
know what you're putting inside of
They had
you.
no idea. They just
An
trust the science
experimental vaccine, which, by the way, they had to change the definition of
to
vaccine
change the whole
to
thing.
shoehorn this into being called a vaccine
Yep.
to remove psychological deterrence from taking this junk.
Right. And every single day they come out with new studies showing how bad these quote unquote
People
vaxes
are
were.
dying
They're
from this
dying.
stuff. People are dying,
Openbears.com is
and
at like 2 million adverse events.
it's at least 2 million.
And
It's at
that's
least 2 million.
with an estimate that only 1% of the people have reported.
There are
Between 1 and
websites,
10%.
thank God some people are starting to speak out. There's
Right.
websites called Died Suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
is a huge it is a genocide and it's not being reported.
But it's all
Oh,
coming together. It's all satanic from all angles. These people hate God for the most part, or they'll say they love God, but they have no idea who Jesus and God really are. And
and
that's the problem.
that goes back to what we said last
Yeah, the
time
other time,
about
right.
the utter failure of the church. The church is not salt and light. The church is staying inside their buildings, having an above average cup of coffee, having their best life now, and having spaghetti socials and things of that nature.
And the real problem is being tolerant of all this nonsense. It's there's no, well, these people aren't tolerant of us. It's
The
just
church is a bunch of Neville Chamberlains. Not all of the church, but a bunch of the church is Neville Chamberlains. It's a policy of passive containment. It's a
yeah.
policy of we don't offend the Nazis, which, by the way, the left, you are the Nazis.
Right.
What you do is Nazi-esque. You trying to hurt people, that's brown shirt behavior. You are the Nazis, you
They're
claim to
everything they
hate.
say. They're everything that they say they hate, and
Yes,
that
they
it's
are.
all
They are
projection,
precisely that.
you
It's
know.
unbelievable. It really is. It really is shocking.
But we just need to keep fighting them and keep every day we're winning because more and more of this vax stuff is coming out. And then when these people act crazy like this, it shows their true colors so that people can know that people like me and you that are calling out, we're not crazy. We're not making this stuff up. They're the ones saying and doing all this pure evil stuff. We're just calling it out so people know. Because how is this going to change unless people call it out? We have to call it out. We have to say something about it.
So if I may, I'd like to do another video from another very reprobate individual. May I?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Let's
and
go.
you'll recognize this reprobate. Also a woman, interestingly enough.
You know,
God bless. I'm married to a woman. I have daughters who are women. I love women. But these women, maybe not so much. And this
some
one,
women have been radicalized, like we've said about with feminization and the whole feminist movement, to the point where they're completely bonkers because they're going against their own genetics, their own
they're
DNA,
fighting against their own nature. The
their own
word Eve
nature by
means mother of
God.
the living, and the holy sacrament of liberalism is what? It's abortion. It's baby
Yeah,
killing.
right,
They've enticed women to believe
right.
that killing their own offspring is somehow commensurate with freedom,
I mean,
and
as
they're
much
patting themselves on the back for it.
right, and as much as women say men are evil and men are so abusive and horrible, and men cause wars and men cause death, you can add up every single death from all time, and it still doesn't even come close to the amount of deaths from abortions from women.
But we have Nazism and communism, which are the same thing.
Mhm.
They're different. They're different subtle nuances of collectivism. That's 150 million, at least 100 million by
Yep.
conservative estimates. Really more like 150 million civilians, not
Right,
combatants, murdered in the last century. And you
yep,
have Islam, over 200 million.
right.
And then you have abortion, 1 billion
Yeah, I thought it was
with a
1.3,
B.
1.3
One
billion.
1.3 billion babies murdered
Mm-hmm.
worldwide in the last 100 years.
Yeah.
And what is that celebrated as? A woman's right to choose. No,
Just
no, no, ladies, you do not have the right to murder your
you've been
babies.
emotionally
I,
hijacked to think that
you have
murdering your babies is a
is
good thing.
somehow commensurate with freedom.
And
It's
they
not
never
freedom.
talk about like when women have these abortions, like how they actually feel after and how it
Yeah, they
bugs
feel
them
horrible.
for the rest of their lives. The majority of these women have severe issues for forever.
Many of the women have horrible guilt, and those who don't have horrible guilt are the darkest of all because they've deliberately blackened their hearts.
Right.
They've turned a blind
They're
eye,
gonzo.
and what you get is the radicalized woman.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a perfect segue
Yep.
into this
Yeah. Let's see it.
radicalized woman. Here it comes. Here we come. Brace for impact. Here she comes. Your favorite and mine.
Try to recreate a world that never was dominated by, let's say it, white men of a certain persuasion, a certain religion, a certain point of view, a certain ideology.
Let's just say it. Men of white men of a certain persuasion. She means straight. Yeah, that's what she means. Of a certain ideology. She means conservative, or in general conservative. And then she says of a certain religion. It is very obvious. Wow. She's saying Christian. So before we go on, before you hear what she says next, she's specifically saying the idea that you could listen to what she said, turn back the clock to something that never was, when a nation was founded by straight, conservative Christian men. Well, wait just a second. I wonder what our nation was founded by. Okay. So number one, let's say that. But then watch what she says here about Christian men leading.
It's just doing such damage to what we should be aiming for. And we were on the path toward that. I mean, imperfectly, lots of, bumps along the way, but I agree with you. We were on the right trajectory.
You have the leaders of one party who will platform, elect, and cheer for an explicitly Christian worldview and message. And then you have the leaders of another party that will oppose it and vilify it with everything they have. Why? Because she instinctively knows that the Christian ethical system is opposed to a huge number of her goals. What you're seeing in the New York Times and in leaders like Hillary Clinton and a million people in the last 2 days is the scare label of, oh no, what we're seeing is scary Christian nationalism. Whoever controls the terms wins the argument. The strategy is label to dismiss. Let me label it in such a way. It's a scare label. 99% of the time when people use the phrase Christian nationalism, it is an intentionally misleading scare label that implies the following. I can advocate for my godless values in the public square, but you Christians can't advocate for your godly values in the public square. So if I advocate for my values, well, man, this is a secular democracy. We believe in religious liberty. And so I'm allowed to advocate for my beliefs because they're, but if you advocate for your beliefs in the public square, it's scary Christian nationalism. It's anathema. It's to be opposed. So let's break it down real quick. Let's talk Christian nationalism really quick. First of all, what I want to say, if somebody accuses me of being a Christian nationalist, 99% of the time, my response is going to be, yep, I'm a Christian and I love my nation. Yep.
And only 45 men have
So
ever
that's
held
it.
the office of the president.
So that's
our
it.
favorite.
That's
Hillary.
Ramrodham Clinton, who mysteriously had 100 friends commit suicide, and she is being honored by who? The mainstream media.
Right.
The wicked freely strut about Psalm 11. Actually, it might be Psalm 12. I actually pulled it up in here. This is my Bible, the Bible. You see, look, the Bible. I have Bibles.
Oh no, you
Got a bunch
Christian
of Bibles.
nationalist.
This is my office. I am a Christian nationalist.
No.
I am a Christian. I love Jesus and I love America. I have an American flag right
No.
outside my house. Yes, I do.
That's so horrible and anti-American.
Yes, I'm an American.
According to
I took an oath
liberals.
to the Constitution a bunch of times.
According
I was
to
a
the
soldier.
liberals, if you
What
like God
will
and
you
you
do with
like
me?
the Bible, then you're actually anti-American by their standards.
So Psalm 11, if the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do? And then Psalm 12, last verse. The wicked freely strut about when what is vile is honored among men. The wicked freely strut about when what is vile is honored among men.
Right.
So I think of Hillary Ramrodham Clinton and, of course, Ugly Abby, who is her ideological disciple.
Yeah.
And we'll talk, if you're good with it, we'll talk
Yeah.
about Ugly Abby.
We are taking over the phrase hashtag Ugly Abby. Just so y'all know, I'll give Ted the credit for that one. I didn't even come up with it.
All right, may I tell the story of Ugly Abby, how this came about?
Yeah. No, listen, everyone needs to understand why the phrase Ugly Abby has stuck. It's because it deserves to be, and here's why.
All right, so I think of Hillary Clinton, and what a horrible human being she is.
Pure
And
evil.
if you disagree, I want you to tell me if you're a communist out there, an American hating, Trump hating communist, which is what you are if you hate Trump and you forget about Trump, forget about Hillary. I want you to tell me about the platform. What is it that you stand for that you so passionately love about the leftist platform? Is it the murdering of babies? Is it mutilating children's genitals? Is it communism? Is it election rigging? Is it high taxes? Is it crippling and destroying the nuclear family? Is it radical Marxism? Is it the importing of unvetted illegal alien invader murderers, killing people, innocent people? What is it that you love so much about your deranged platform?
Don't forget their
I would like to
platform.
know.
The platform of letting all the criminals out of prison and being able
Yes,
to be arrested
defund the police.
57
Defund
times.
the police.
Defund the police. Arrest 57 times. You're let out on bail every time.
Yes.
Actually, there's actually no cashless bail. Remember that one? Let's see how that worked out.
I mean, I don't know whether you've seen the platform of Ugly Abby, but I'll discuss that in a minute. But back to Ugly Abby. So Shamgar and I are at a
It's a Winsome Sears rally.
it was a Winsome Sears rally that we went to try and avoid the annihilation of the state of Virginia as we now know it, which is now well underway. We're left to pray and hope that somehow, some way, their evil platform is defeated. How the heck that's going to happen, I don't know. That platform includes radical taxation and illegally outlawing leaf blowers Yes, outlawing gas-powered leaf blowers.
You have that.
Yeah, that's really important. It also includes outlawing hand counting of ballots, expanding of ranked choice voting.
Right.
It's gonna include making all the cities in Virginia sanctuary cities, which is cities that are
Right.
going to welcome unvetted illegal alien invaders, and they will be bribed to vote with your money.
Ugly Abby said she wanted to do that for like last year for Fredericksburg. That was
And let
always
us
her
not
plan.
let us not forget her close ideological crony, her attorney general, and her lieutenant governor, a jihadist, and her attorney general, Jay Jones, who wants to watch people's babies die in their mother's
Mhm.
arms. No, we are not making this up. Please look it up. Yes, he had a chance to recant, and yes, Ugly Abby had a chance to
Denounce him.
disavow him. She did
Right.
not.
And
So,
Winsome Sears called her out in the debate, and she still wouldn't. She just sat there silent for a
so
minute straight.
so Shamgar and I are at this rally,
Right.
and we're assuming we're among fellow conservatives because it's a Republican rally. And so I was talking to some guy, and I made the comment. I was talking about the policies of Ugly Abby, and to be extremely honest, when I use the term Ugly Abby, I did not mean her physical appearance. Although, to be fair, uh, she ain't the best looking. Uh, but that's not what I was talking about.
Right. Right.
I was talking about the ugliness you see in Hillary Clinton, the ugliness you see in those two nurses who are full of hate, who are ugly to the bone,
Mhm.
who are disingenuous, who are pathological liars,
It's like when Trump called Hillary a nasty
a
woman.
nasty woman.
It's the same, literally the same
So
thing.
that was the context. So I'm talking to this guy who I think is a conservative, and he starts lecturing me on how I shouldn't say that and hurrah, and that's not nice. And I remember talking to Shamgar, and Shamgar says, "This is why we lose."
Right.
And I'm like, I couldn't agree with you more. And I know that this is a controversial topic, and not everybody will agree with us on this, but the left has declared war on America. America's more than a
Yeah.
nation, it's a creed. G.K. Chesterton, America is the only nation founded on a creed, and it's true. America is e pluribus unum, liberty, in God we trust, uh, inalienable rights. Uh, Governments are instituted among men to secure the God-given rights of the people. That we are one nation under God. So when we talk about ugly Abby and ugly Hillary and these two ugly nurses who want to destroy
They wanted to
and
kill us and this
harm, they want
country.
to literally harm those who disagree with them.
Hmm.
Um, that's ugly. That's
Right.
ugly.
And
So
the reason
so
I
we
said
should
we
we shall
lose,
forever call ugly Abby and her ugly platform ugly Abby
yeah, she's
because
gonna be
that's who
ugly.
she is. And oh, by the way, she's probably not too good looking either,
Yeah, she.
which it always manifests on the face.
When
But
you know,
that
evil
was never what
people,
it was about.
right? But evil people, it comes out. You can see it in their face and eyes. But that's why I said this is why we lose. But people need to understand it. Like you said, we are literally in a war, and it's not like this war like Rambo and a cool movie we watched when we were kids or something like that. It's a new war. It's the information war. It's a new war where it is a war. It's a spiritual war. And the way I look at it is, you know what? Maybe you'll meet some people that are rough around the edges. Maybe you'll meet some people that say some potty language or something. But what you want to know is the person's heart and where their heart's at. And it it's like, let's win the war first, and then we can correct each other's potty language. Okay. But right now, it's our survival that is at stake. It's literally
Yes.
our children's survival that's at stake. So
Yes.
let's worry about the potty language. And oh no, Trump said a mean word. He called her Pocahontas or something. It's like, you know what? These people want to effing kill you. They want to kill you
Yes.
and your
Yes,
kids.
they want to kill you.
Okay.
They want to
And
watch this. Jay
they're-
Jones literally
they're
wants
literally
to watch
saying
children
it.
die.
And then you're worried, oh no, well, I don't want to hurt their fifis. I don't want to say, I want to call them a name that accurately describes their nature. No, no, no. Let's freak out. And so they get more upset about
And
you
this is on the
saying that.
conservative side.
They,
These are
they
our
get
conservatives.
they get
These are
more upset with
conservatives.
you saying a mean word than they get upset with these people that are trying to kill us and our children. And that's why I say we lose. People need to wake up and look at this as this is a matter of survival at this point. I mean, look at all the death threats I've gotten over the years. These people literally have shown the world they want to kill me. There's still thousands of everyone can look on sorryantivaxxer.com. There's thousands of comments still there. We just got a bunch of like hate threats yesterday or today. So these people are nuts. So I don't feel bad about calling them out. I don't feel bad about saying ugly Abby. I'm not going to feel guilt or remorse for that because it is the truth. And these people that say they're conservatives need to wake up. And I maybe they will after they did. Some people did after the Charlie thing because I think was that when we were at the rally, had Charlie already been?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
so he was wearing a freedom
that
shirt,
was
right?
afterwards. Yes.
Yeah, because he was wearing a freedom shirt. And then you'd think that this guy would understand, hey, they're trying to kill all of us, and they openly are celebrating it. And then he's still worried about, oh, we don't want to say ugly. You know what? Stop standing on your high horse and pretending that like oh this we have to be perfect and I want to be good. I'm not going to do anything evil, but at the same time, this is a war, and in war you get dirty. You're in the mud. You're in the trenches.
Couldn't agree more.
You know better than me. You actually were deployed.
I couldn't. You can't fight a war with one hand tied behind your back.
No, you can't.
To quote John Adams in the movie 1776, this is a revolution. Damn it, we're going to have to offend somebody.
Right.
You can't pussyfoot in a situation. We are fighting for. I mean, Ugly Abby is for baby killing through 9 months of pregnancy, and believe me when I tell you that quote post-birth abortion is very much on the table.
Yeah.
There's no bottom for these people.
They want to put transgender and LGBTQ stuff in schools. I saw that. That was one of their goals now too.
Yes, mutilating children's genitals with your money.
Mm-hmm.
Usually lost children, very lost children, usually from broken homes,
right?
Usually without a father figure in their lives,
right?
Terribly confused, terribly lost, terribly sad at a very young age when they have no business making permanent life-altering decisions, and things like chemical castration and the amputation of healthy breasts. I mean, it is absolutely diabolical.
Right.
And big pharma and the docs, the so-called doctors behind it are making money. To that end, I would recommend anybody, if you have not seen, and I know not everybody likes her, and I understand the reasons why, but if you ever have a chance to watch Candace Owens, I know not everybody likes her, but she did an interview with a person who calls herself Brianna Ivy. If you get a chance to watch that, I would recommend that to anybody, because this Brianna Ivy will talk about the things that he went through as a young boy. He now identifies as a woman. And it is absolutely gut-wrenching, and
and the point isn't to watch Candace in that. It's the point is to watch this person that went through all this and what
the
really
interview
happened.
She did was, it's like, even though Candace might be maybe a half a bubble off, this interview is like, I watched it. It's like goes an hour and 15 minutes. It is absolutely gut-wrenching.
Right.
This young kid, I think his father's not in his life. He's 14. He goes to see some sociologist or something, some social worker, says, I think I feel like a girl. Within about a half hour, 45 minutes, they've got him on estrogen.
Right.
And he is instantly stovepiped into the system. And one thing leads to the next,
and they lie.
What?
They lie about it. They lie and they say, "Oh yeah, it's reversible." It's not. You can't reverse your puberty window.
Well, a little factoid is when they mutilated his genitals, they botched the job badly. Oh yeah. And it's you. I mean, I can't recommend this strongly enough.
I think I saw clips of it.
It is. I watched it once. It was painful. But it's like this is what these, and they're remorseless. They made money. You And at one point, he talks about he had to go back for like corrective surgery because they botched the job. They made him all kind of promises that, of course, they couldn't keep. And at one point, the doctor who did the surgery was bringing in interns to like look at him in his nakedness, to like looking at him like a lab rabbit. I mean, it is
Uh,
really, it's truly sickening.
I mean, I look at, maybe I have another insight on this is I'm on big pharma medicine. Like I do dialysis every night. That's why I have, just so everyone sees it, I have this port sticking out of my neck. See that? It goes up into my neck right there, and then it goes down into my heart. I have to deal with big pharma and this stuff, and I have to be on something every day for forever, according to them. And I don't know how these people want to jump into something where they have to be on big pharma meds for the rest of their life. They have to do it. And you can't just start it and then be like, oh, whoopsies, I'm going to come off it, because then it's your body's permanently changed. Now your body's messed up and you have to keep doing it. So now you're stuck. It's like you're a slave to them. But of course they like that because they're making
Make
money.
some money.
They make a lot of money. And they make a lot of money at their expense, and they don't care. It's about making money for them. And
Yeah.
it's about pushing an agenda. And it's just, you're right. It's sad what
Yes,
they're
I mean,
doing to these people.
one of the many unreported by our propaganda media factoids is during the COVID scamdemic. During the COVID scamdemic was the greatest transfer of wealth upwards in American history.
Yeah, right.
And in
Hmm.
pharma, in big pharma during the scamdemic, 10 new pharma billionaires were minted.
Oh, I
Billionaires,
bet.
10
Yep.
new pharma billionaires. They make
Yep.
money because look, they're not interested in curing your problems. They're
No,
interested in making you a permanent patient.
I don't think Pfizer's ever cured one disease ever since their inception, right? I don't think they
It's
have.
it
I
it
think all
is.
they've done, they treat you, but there's never a cure.
But again, back to the very first thing that I read, what we have is a normalization of depravity, as is manifested in the
Hmm.
visceral hate that you heard from those nurses earlier. If you watch this whole podcast, in the twisted Hillary Ramrodham Clinton, in the utterly disingenuous, ugly Abby, who hasn't got an honest bone in her body,
Right.
and her cronies, Hashmi Jihadi, whatever her name is, and Jay Jones, who wants to murder babies in their mother's arms. I mean, I know these are strong words, but it's we.
It's factual.
I mean, look it up. If you think we're crazy, I challenge you to look up anything and everything we're saying.
Right. None of it's false. It's all legit.
And it's I know it's painful if you haven't heard it. If you're listening to this and you think we're out of our mind, you think we're whatever, look it up. Look it up yourself.
Right.
Do your own homework. Don't listen to CNN, for
It,
the love of God and all that's holy, or MSNBC or ABC or CBS or NBC or PBS or the New York
right.
Times or Puffington Post.
Really anti-mainstream media at
It,
this
it is it
point has
is
been all
it
compromised, and
is
you
bad. It's
you can get
bad.
all your information from independent journalists, just or just watch the White House feed. I mean,
Uh,
what
uh,
Trump's doing something every day for multiple hours a day.
I mean,
It's not that hard.
a little known factoid that you can look up very easy is that Slick Willie, Wilhelm von Slickmeister, signed in the 1990s some legislation that enabled the conglomerate media to come into being. So now media is owned by six, I repeat,
Hmm.
six major corporations. It's Disney, Viacom, News Corp, I want to say CBS, but you can look it up. There's six major conglomerates that own 90% of the media.
Right.
So wrap your head around that. So that means that it is tightly, tightly controlled. And who owns social media? A tiny handful.
Right.
The information stream that you're getting is tightly controlled. And you're not going to hear the things that we're saying off of mainstream media. And that includes Fox News
Hmm.
and Newsmax. Yes, it does.
Even they're infiltrated. I mean, the CIA was in the what were they in this Congress in the 70s, 60s? Now they admitted that they were buying off and paying news reporters to put out news articles that they wanted to promulgate in the American culture. And then the CIA even paid, they would let Hollywood people get access to military equipment if they agreed to put propaganda and military stuff movies that they wanted. They've been controlling the media for forever, and people need to understand just because you see
It's
it
been
on
going on for a
TV,
long time.
this has been over 50 years. This
It's
has been
been
over
well over 50. It's close to 100.
right. I
It's
mean,
been on.
it's been they've been conditioning you for
It's been
forever.
for a very
And
long
then
time.
the only way it's broken is the internet, and now people are seeing things from independent things, and that's been the combat against it, which is why people are called like digital soldiers, is what General Flynn called everyone, is because now you have people going against like the programming. But the problem is that the programming is real. It was Operation Mockingbird. It was legally allowed, and our news, according to Obama, wasn't in 2012. He signed something that
Smith-Mundt.
yeah, so you can lie.
Smith-Mundt Act, so you can lie outright.
You're
Yes.
allowed to lie in
Smith-Mundt
media,
is, yeah, you can do propaganda media. It's completely
and you
legal.
can't be sued. You can't be held accountable. There's literally zero accountability for it. So that you have to understand that this has been going on for a while. If we pretended that this was a Marvel movie and we wanted to create an ultimate superhero that wanted to control the world, what would be the easiest way for the supervillain? Sorry, the supervillain to control the world. Control the media. If you control the media, you
That's
can
what Adolf
control what
Hitler did.
everybody sees, and then you can trick everybody into loving you, thinking you're great. You can trick everyone into doing whatever you wanted, is with enough propaganda, and there you go. So I try to tell people this and be like, what would Lex Luthor do if he was really going to be the supervillain forever? That's what he should do in one of these movies.
One of the things that always struck me and I always stuck in my mind about the old Soviet Union is when certain honest reporters would go inside the Soviet Union and talk to Soviet citizens. And they'd say, and Soviet Union was state controlled media, full up propaganda.
Right.
Their state controlled media was Pravda, truth.
Mm-hmm.
So they would interview the Soviet citizens and they'd say, do you believe, that America is the great Satan? And the reporters say, by and large, they did. They did.
Mm-hmm.
Because their media told them so.
Right.
They believed it. And it speaks to the gullibility of man, which of course Jesus in the gospel refers to us as sheep.
Yeah. And it's
I
hard.
mean,
And then
he could have called us all kind of things. Could have called us dogs. Could have called us. Could have used all different kinds of analogies. Cats,
well, that's really a large,
boxes,
large majority of the human nature is they just want to follow. They do want to be sheep. And
and
it is. You only get like 5% of people that really want to stand up to what.
I mean, consider the nature of
on.
a sheep,
Yeah.
a defenseless creature,
Yep.
and not too bright.
Right. Right. Yep. And that's the sad part about you got to feel. I feel kind of bad for these liberals. Some of them, yeah, actually, maybe some of them want to be decent people, but they're just so blinded by
It's
all these
terrible.
lies that they
It's
can't even see. And then they're blinded to the point where they're conditioned to believe that they have to hate you because they know. So the programming
stochastic
is
terrorism.
they want you to hate everyone so much that you don't even have a conversation with them, because if you do have a conversation with them, they'll change your mind because what you believe is so twisted and so false. It's so easy to disprove. That's why you'll never see liberals really debate you. They'll always end up flipping out, screaming and losing it and acting like
Ad
savages.
hominem attacks.
That's what it always leads to. And never, I don't see any of the debates act and other way than that. Otherwise,
They go to ad hominem. They don't debate.
Right.
They shout insults,
they just lose it.
which is the lowest form of man. Instead of debating the facts, they just attack your character,
Right.
which is the ad hominem fallacy. But people are so grossly undereducated, they don't even understand that. They literally don't understand basic logic anymore. It's that bad, and it's by design, and it's tragic. And my wife and I discuss this often, and it's something that we need to keep in the fore, and something that I need to keep in the forefront of my mind, because it's like, as I've said to you, Shamgar, and as we've discussed, and I've said it to my wife, nobody is as stupid as Joe Biden appears to be. Nobody is that big of an idiot. Nobody,
No.
not even Joe Biden. They know what they're doing.
They know
They
what they're
know
doing.
that their policies are going to run the country into the ground,
Right.
but they're going to do them anyway. But what they also know is that there are people who are legitimately deceived. And as long as they can keep these people legitimately in the dark, it helps their power base.
Right.
So what I marvel over and what my heart breaks over is the fact that there are people who literally believe the outlandish lies of the left. They literally believe the lies of communism, the lies of radical feminism, the lies of Islam. They literally believe them, and
They do.
it's that's the war that has to be won.
So everyone needs to understand that the bigger issue we're talking about is this is a war, and when you're in war, then sometimes there's irregular warfare, like stuff I do, going to school board meetings and being pretending to be a leftist and just throwing their arguments in their face. But it's a war. We need people in the battle. We need people fighting it, and we need people to realize if you want to police people's words and things that don't really matter, let's do that after we win. All right. Once we win, then we can tell everybody you're not allowed to say ugly Abby anymore. Only niceties. Ugly Abby is banned. Sorry. Once we win, great. Okay, great. We can do that. That's cool. But until we win, Ugly Abby's on the table and Ugly Abby is her name. Okay. So sorry, dude, wearing the freedom shirt. If you ever watch this video and we're talking about you and you remember the story, I'll get you a hashtag Ugly Abby shirt. Man. Okay, that'll be. I'll get you a new shirt. You can put that on until the war is over, and then the day we win, when all these people are perp walked and they're in prison for their crimes, their treason against this country, which is what they've done.
Yes,
This treason and sedition, because
Yes.
they've openly tried to go destroy the country from within. In every possible way possible.
Absolutely.
I mean, going against police, importing in third world
Facilitating an
savages.
illegal alien invasion.
You know, they literally have done everything that you couldn't get a more like pure definition of treason by looking at their actions if you
Couldn't
tried.
agree more.
So once they're all donezo, and then all these evil people are put away for the crimes against humanity that they've done. Okay, great. Then we can go back to picking flowers and going to the mall and smelling perfumes and saying nice things to each other. And we won't need to say ugly Abby. But until then, Ugly Abby's what it is. Sorry. You know?
Ugly Abby shall forever be, at least for now, Ugly
Yeah.
Abby.
Forever for this, as long as this war goes on, which I think won't be hopefully too much longer. I don't think. But I think that
I hope you're right, brother.
I know. But I think that for now, though, people need to understand, even though I think God gave us the victory, we still have to do something to walk into it. We don't just like sit back and do nothing and just, say, oh, well, whatever. Like everyone needs to get out there and do something and fight this because our kids' futures are on the line. And I know liberals they'll say, well, our kids' futures are on the line too. What kids, dude? None of you liberals have kids.
Oh my God, that was great.
Right?
It's true.
It's true.
It's true. They don't have kids. They don't have kids.
They're all old white women that are feminized and they've been
horrible.
brainwashed.
They don't have kids.
And all they have is cats. I mean, look at all those people yelling at ICE agents. You see that? It was so funny. I should pull the video, but there's a black dude. It's an ICE agent in the car. And then these liberal white women, probably in their 40s, screaming at him. They're like, oh, why are you here? You're black. Oh, you're racially profiling people and you're trying to pick them up. Didn't they just racially profile him by saying he's black and why is he there? These people don't even see their own hypocrisy. That's how brainwashed they are. They're just totally gone.
It is a desperate situation.
And I know the latest thing was they said that ICE detained a 5-year-old. Oh my God, a 5-year-old kid. How could they do that? But the reality is that, they arrested his dad because he was illegal that raped an 11-year-old, by the way. He was a pedophile. And, I guess the real takeaway from all that is about one thing. If you or I got arrested, they'd separate us from our kids. So why is it they arrest these people and they can't separate them from their kids? But anyway,
I know about the story, and the truth is that 5-year-old, they were looking out for the 5-year-old.
Right, they're taking care of them. And I guess the real takeaway is they should really be thanking ICE because ICE has actually taken care of more kids than all the Somalian daycares in all of Minnesota because they had zero enrollment, and at least ICE we know is definitely taking care of at least one kid. Oh, I think it paused.
Okay.
Okay. What I was saying was before it got cut out was, sorry, we're back. Was that Minnesota, the ICE we know now has taken care of more children than all the Somalian daycares put together because we know for sure at least ICE has taken care of one 5-year-old, and we know that zero kids have been in any of these daycares. So really, we should be paying ICE $9 billion because they've already taken care of more kids in all of Minnesota than all the Somalian daycares. So thank you, ICE, for caring for children the way we wish these Somalian daycares should have. You know, so that's the way I look at it.
And I'm going to agree. I'm going to agree.
Thank you, ICE, for doing the job.
I don't know at what part I got cut off, but the truth is that this poor 5-year-old child's father was a monster, a rapist, and a pervert.
Right.
And they did what they had to do. Tragically, very tragically, there are some bad men out there.
Right.
And they just looked out for a 5-year-old child. It's very sad. It's a sad situation.
People get mad and they're saying ICE is detaining all American citizens. It's like there's these, oh my God, they pulled someone over and they detained him. Well, yeah, because you're supposed to have a driver's license when you're driving. If you don't have a driver's license,
if you are here illegally, you are a criminal.
Like just
immigration without assimilation is invasion, and most of these immigrants, these illegal alien invaders, have no intention of assimilating. They are not culturally American, and they have no intention of embracing America. They are not here to be your neighbors. They are here to conquer you and subjugate you and your children.
And turn our country into a third world hellhole like this.
Absolutely. It's yeah. I mean, why are they fleeing? Why aren't they immigrating from Iraq to Iran or Iran to Iraq?
Yeah,
why are they going to Europe?
Why are these
and America?
Muslims going to other Muslim countries that are even closer to them? They're not even trying. Gee, I wonder. You know, that they're like Somalia's government's completely failed. It's literally just a barbaric shithole country. And then what are you going to do? You're going to take these people with this mindset of what they've been doing their whole life, and then just, they're going to come here and it's magically going to change. That's not how it works.
Many Americans have never been outside the continental United States,
So I don't get it.
as I have. But I will tell you, if you go to a country like, say, for example, Afghanistan, and you see it with your own eyes, you see how the third world is. And these places can barely even be called a country. Afghanistan is just a place of clans and people living with donkey carts in mud huts. Literally, we are talking it's almost like they're on a different planet. And the idea that they're going to assimilate, that we can it's.
And on top of that, you have to think about, like, they're not going to assimilate. And then on top of that, they're always going to look at us like we're different, white people in general. I mean, America's mostly white country, is founded by mostly white people. I mean, obviously, so like, that's not being racist, just being honest. I'll give you a story. Did I tell you I went to high school in Hawaii? I lived in Maui for 3 years.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I remember you talking about that.
And like, I was a minority there. I was in a high school. It was HP Baldwin High School, and it was like 2,000 kids. And I remember, like, there was like 10, 20 white kids. The majority of the white kids all went to some private school. The parents didn't want them in the public school because this was 96. And we had like 15 security guards around the school all the time because there was gangs everywhere. There's Bloods and Crips, and like the Hawaiians were the Bloods, the Crips were the Tongans and Samoans, and then you had the Filipinos, the Pinoys, the brown rags and stuff. And then you had to make friends with one group, and then everyone else hated you, and you weren't allowed to go in the bathrooms all day. They sat outside the bathroom, skipped class all day. And and then we had one time, it was a riot at the school. They had to call the SWAT team in to the high school because everyone was fighting. Well, one time we got off the bus, and it was me and my brothers would get off the bus, and I'm 14, 15. My brothers are like 7 and 9, maybe. We get off the bus, the whole bus piles off. They tackle us. They start beating us up because we're white. They're like, "What, Haole?" When Haole is the Hawaiian it's like saying the N word for white people, right? It just means like white as ghost or whatever. It's just an insult. Anyway, um, we're getting beaten up, and then there's cars driving by with adults. They see this happen, they stop. We think, okay, great, someone's going to save us. Guess what? The adults come over there, start beating us up too. Grown adults. And they're like, what? Why? Oh, white people stole our land. This is what you get. And it's like, what do people think is going to happen when white people become the minority in this country? They're just going to stop hating you all of a sudden? No, these people hate your guts. They don't want to assimilate. They're here to conquer you. They want your kids dead. That's just a sad reality. And I grew up and I remember we were getting fights on every day. My brothers got fights every day just for existing, just because we were white. And people in the country here want to say they've experienced racism. When were they hunted down like dogs in school, or got off a bus and the whole bus beats them up? When has that happened in the past 30, 50 years to anybody in this country other than white people? Sorry. So when Hillary Clinton wants to say, oh, white people are a problem, no, the problem is people saying white people are a problem. White people are not the problem. And that's why people need to understand importing in millions of third world savages, when does it end? I know everyone says we should be Christians and we can help everyone. Well, I want to help people that want to follow our laws. The Bible also said we're supposed to follow laws of the land. Okay. And what do they think? Should we import in 2 billion people? I don't know. Maybe we should import 5 billion. How about actually let's import every single person on this whole planet onto the continent of the USA. We can help them all, right? I mean, these people don't understand numbers, apparently. I've always said that I don't think liberals are that great at math, because how do you not understand that eventually resources are finite? You can't just import the entire world into America. What you should do is have our country be good, and then we can help others from there, not destroy our country and make ourselves worse like everyone else. It's like you go to therapy. One of the things they tell you in therapy is if you're on a plane and the plane's about to crash, you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you can help someone else. That's always the analogy they use, right? So let's just use their own therapeutic message. If we want to help other countries, like everyone, all these liberals want to help everyone so badly, which is really mostly just virtue signaling. They don't really care. But if they do genuinely want to help, the best way to help is have our country be strong, and then we can help other people, not import them here, destroy our country, lessen our value. Think about it. Trump shared it on Truth Social. The majority of the people that are third world come here, they're all on welfare. They're not providing anything of value to the country. Sorry to say that, but that's just a fact that they come here. And I would say different if they were actually trying to acclimate to this country and actually trying to assimilate into the country. But a lot of people they still don't even know English. They don't even want to. They don't even care.
They have no intention of assimilating.
When you were in Afghanistan, like, could you imagine living there and not even knowing the language if you weren't in the military? Like, could you imagine thinking that, oh, I want to do this?
No.
Right.
No, you want to get away from there. You thank God that you're not. I mean, it's really kind of, frankly, it's kind of frightening
Right.
but to touch on what you said very briefly, they have done videos of some various and sundry um, online personalities have done videos of going to liberal marches who are marching for immigrants, illegal aliens. And of course, Ron DeSantis did the brilliant thing of busing up some illegal aliens to Martha's Vineyard to the senior lefties. And
Yeah.
okay, here's your illegal aliens. And of
Mhm.
course, they've gone to people's houses and and to people who are marching for illegal aliens.
Right.
And they said, hey, we have some people we'd like to, would you like to take them in your home? And we have some people, and we have Fernando here and Fernando's brother, Manuel. And Fernando and Manuel, they just got across the border and they really need a place to stay. And they're nice guys. And also Fernando and Manuel have a couple other friends. Here's Jorge. And, you know, would you mind taking them in, just for, and the answers are like, no, I can't take them in.
Oh, it's so funny.
Every single,
Every time.
every single one.
A
So
lot
it's
of them
like,
say, I have
it's like,
children. and I don't know these people and who
Right.
they are.
Exactly. Precisely. Yes, I don't know them. Yes.
You can't make it up.
Yeah, we have problems. Again, e pluribus unum, out of many one, one nation under God. That is the founding premise of our nation.
Right.
That is what makes us free, the great American melting pot. And what we have by the left is the great American balkanization pot. Instead of the United States of America, we're the divided states of America. Instead
Right.
of the United States, we have the red states and the blue states. And ugly Abby and her cronies are trying to make our state as blue can be.
Right.
And we have problems, and we are in an ideological war. It is a war that we must win if we want our children to live in freedom. And brother, I think we have gone like way over time.
Yeah, we're good. But we'll stop here because this will go right into what we're gonna do. We'll do episode 2 of Debate a Liberal Lunatic. Liberty libtard will make a return.
I can hardly wait.
You know, we'll do that.
Okay,
And so
all right.
we'll cut it
Okay.
out here. Thanks to
Okay.
everybody. Look, and this is a war. We want you in it with us. You know, comment or just send us. A
Oh,
message,
by the
whatever.
way, I consider this like a Cold War. To be perfect, and I think Shamgar would
Yeah.
stay with me. We truly hope that, like the Cold War, that like the fall of the Berlin Wall, that this great evil can be defeated, like the evil empire was, without a shot being fired.
Right.
God bless Ronald Reagan.
That's the goal, everyone. So remember, just keep fighting, keep posting, keep outing all the lies, the hypocrisy. Whether you think you're making an effort or a dent in this craziness or not, the reality is you are. You just might not see it right away. But everyone's standing up. Look, think about it with COVID, dude. If everybody just stood up after 2 weeks and said we're done, it would have been over. The problem was everyone just kept letting it happen, and that's why it kept going for so long. Is because everyone was just like, "Oh, you know,
Resist tyranny.
you have to resist actual tyranny, not leftists making it up and pretending like there's tyranny they're resisting, but you actually resist stuff that's not right, like forcing a vax on you and forcing mask mandates when none of these things even work.
Forcing you to restrict your own breathing, forcing you to take an unknown substance, injecting into your freaking veins.
We
An
can never,
unknown experimental so-called quaxine.
we can never let this happen
vaccine.
again.
I mean, this is the left.
Never let it happen again. So, all right, I'll stop it. Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, stop.